Hey, what's up YouTube? In this video, I'll be showing you how to make an Asda Supermarket. Our Asda Supermarket has a giant car park with a petrol station, In this tutorial, I will show you how to make the entire inside and outside of Asda. Inside of Asda, we have everything that one might expect to find in a supermarket. If you have a suggestion on what I should make next, please leave a comment below, whether that is a real world build like this one, something from a cartoon, video game, movie. Let me know down there in the comment section. Consider becoming a channel member today and you will gain access to a cool avatar next to your name, some unique emojis, and access to my mini city design world containing every single build that has been added to Mini City to date. This is well over 100 builds, all chronologically ordered, Java edition only. This is the amount of space required to make Asda. Here are some of the materials that we will use throughout the build. However, we will also need all of these materials as well. Begin by placing 3 bricks in a row on the ground. 1, 2, 3. Then dig 2 rows to the right, 1, 2, and place ochre frog light in there. Then place a brick. Then dig 4 rows to the right, 1, 2, 3, 4. Place smooth stone in there. Then place 2 bricks to the right. Dig 4 more rows, 1, 2, 3, 4, and place smooth stone in there. Then we want to place a brick. Then dig 4 rows to the right, 1, 2, 3, 4, place frog light in there. Place a brick to the right, dig 4 more rows, 1, 2, 3, 4, and place frog light in there with a brick on the end. And then one more time, dig 4 rows, 1, 2, 3, 4, place frog light in there with a brick on the end. We then want to start extending backwards by digging 4 rows, extending back, 1, 2, 3, 4, placing frog light in there with a brick on the end. Then dig 4 more rows, 1, 2, 3, 4, place frog light in there with a brick on the end. Dig 4 more rows, 1, 2, 3, 4, place frog light in there with a brick on the end. Dig 4 more rows, 1, 2, 3, 4, place frog light in there with a brick on the end. And then one last time, dig 4 more rows, 1, 2, 3, 4, place frog light in there with a brick on the end. So just so that nobody gets confused, we want to have in total 5 of these areas where we have the frog light with the brick on the end. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is absolutely perfect. But we then want to extend our brick backwards by an additional 4 more rows. 1, 2, 3, 4 like this. And then we are able to extend all the way across the back of the build. This will take a second. And then all the way to the front of the building. I always like to extend from the front just because I find it a tad easier. Whilst we are on the back of the build, we are going to place 2 bricks, 1, 2, extending in from this corner, with a row of 3 glass extending left, 1, 2, 3, and then a brick, 3 glass, 1, 2, 3, a brick, 3 glass, 1, 2, 3, and then the rest of the row will be bricks, but we'll do that later. Extend the glass 1 row upwards, and we will leave this at that. Next, we are going to remove all of the grass inside of our Asda building. We will then replace all of this empty space with quartz bricks. Next, we are going to go around the building and place an additional 2 bricks on top of every brick that we have already placed. We then want to place a layer of white concrete on top of our bricks, extending all the way around the build. Next, come to the left side of the build and place a row of white concrete on top of our white concrete that is simply one row shorter on both the left and right side. We then want to add another row of white concrete that is 2 rows shorter on both the left and right side. And then finally, we want to add another row of white concrete that is once again 2 rows shorter on both the left and right side, which will give us this. We want to do this on the opposite side of the build as well. So on this side, we want to leave, first of all, a gap of 1 just on both sides. We want to make sure that it is 1 row shorter. Then we want to add a row that is 2 rows shorter on both sides. And then finally, once again, we want to place a row that is 2 rows shorter on both sides, and the end result will look like this. Next, on the front of the build, we want to extend this row of bricks 1 row forwards and also an additional row upwards. We want to do the same here as well. We then want to take the upper brick and extend it forwards by 4 blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, and down. 1, 2, 3, 4, and down. We then want to extend a row of white concrete in between the bricks, and then a row of smooth stone slabs underneath the white concrete. In addition to this, we want to place rows of smooth stone slabs along the sides of the bricks on the left and right side that extend 1 row forwards. We then want to extend these slabs upwards and inwards until they eventually reach and connect together in the middle. They will hit a peak like this. We then want to place white concrete behind the slabs in such a way that we don't cover up these slabs, or at least not the outer slabs, but from the outside we have this effect, which is perfect. Which leads us onto this next bit. Next, we are going to place a row of polished black stone across the top of the white concrete on the front of the build, just like this. We then want to place smooth stone slabs in front of the lower half of the polished black stone. These slabs want to overhang the side of the build by 1 row. And then we want to extend these slabs upwards and inwards towards the center of the build like this, until we eventually just have slabs that are just 1 row higher than the white concrete. We can then come to the back of the build and do a similar sort of thing. We can place a row of polished black stone across the top of the white concrete on the back of the build, and then we can place smooth stone slabs extending off of the back of the lower half of the black stone. We will then extend these slabs so that they overhang the side of the build and extend upwards and inwards until we have the same situation on the back as we have on the front. We can then connect the rows of slabs together, and then we are going to come to the opposite side of the build and do the exact same thing. So once again, we're just going to extend these all the way up just like this, and hang off the side and extend them all the way up until we eventually have this. We can then extend these slabs forwards and backwards. Okay, this is perfect. So what this gives us is a nice framework for the roof, as we will extend polished black stone in between the rows where we have 2 slabs on top of each other, and these will just extend left to right like this, and this will occupy most of the actual roof. So like when we get to the top of the roof, the majority of the roof will be polished black stone. But we're just going to leave that for a second, and then everywhere in between we're just going to place polished black stone slabs. But in this is also a dilemma, because we also want to extend the roof for the entrance of our Asda back as well, and we kind of want to blend it seamlessly into our actual main roof. So we're going to start off by doing something like this. It might even be better, honestly, to actually place these slabs first, kind of complete the actual main roof, and then come back to this, because we don't really want there to be an amalgam of black stone and stone slabs inside of our actual Asda. So like, I'll show you what I mean in one moment. So from the inside of Asda, we just want this. So we just want to have all of this first, and then that just stops us doing any sort of weird blending. So like, maybe we'll just stop it here, like this. Maybe what we could do is just kind of like keep this part blackstone. So for like, choose a spot on the roof here, say, and then we can just extend these slabs to this point. So, instead of blending the slabs all the way back and connecting, perhaps we can then just build the... I'm looking for the slabs. Perhaps we can just build the blackstone like this. So, kind of have like a half and half situation. Like that. I think that looks okay. Especially from the ground. It doesn't look too bad. I think it would look better blended, but as I mentioned, I want it blackstone from the inside. So I think that this is a small compromise that we can make. So here, and then if we add all of our slabs. And then if we just take a look underneath, just make sure this looks good. So I'm thinking for this, we try and follow the shape of the roof. So like, well, yeah, I think that looks okay. If we added in like a row here, and here, and here, and here, we get more of a natural gradient, which I think looks pretty good. We also have to add some rows of bricks. So we want to add a row of bricks just behind. So like we have 2 rows of bricks here, right? We want this exact same thing just behind this sign. So like if you take a look at it from the outside, we want to have this. We could even set it an additional row backwards, but I think that this is okay. Let's try it backwards as well, actually. Let's just give it a go. Remove this row. I think it might look a little bit better because it'll have a little bit more depth to it. Yeah, there we go. I actually think that I like that a little bit better. And in this, we can also add some black stained glass to the actual entrance area, just on the left and right, with a row of pane extending in from the central glass, just like this. And if we just take a look, then that is wonderful. And what we will also do is we will just go around our actual Asda and we will add black glass to the windows. So this is wherever we have the frog light, we are going to place the glass. And I'm also remembering at this current point in time that we have about half of a roof, more than half of a roof missing, so we should probably get to that after this. So, coming to the back of the build, I guess we've naturally worked our way here. We want to place rows of polished blackstone connecting the left and right sides of the roof together, and we are just going to extend to the, or from the double high slabs. So an alternate way of doing this is also to use smooth stone block. Wherever you might have the slabs, you could replace it with smooth stone. I don't like that look. I actually prefer the 2 slabs on top of each other, but if you do prefer a more smoother look, then feel free to add in the smooth stone blocks. Alright, so now we just have to fill the entire top of the roof in with polished blackstone. This is very, very simple. Next, we are going to make the dreaded sign. It's actually not too bad. So throw down the loom, open it up, and place a white banner in there with some lime dye. We are going to write out Asda in letters. So place the Pale Dexter pattern, Pale Sinister, Chief, Fess, A. Next is S, Chief, Base, Bend. Next is D, the hardest letter, Pale Sinister. Throw white dye in there instead of lime. Apply the lozenge pattern, lime dye in there, Base, Chief, Pale Dexter. Finally, we would have A again, but, well, we already have it, so we're not going to make it again. And then we can apply it to our big giant white sign area. So we will place an A here, S, D, A. Fantastic. The signs were never seen again, but we will keep the dies and the limb because we may have use for them later. So, believe it or not, structurally, that is the actual Asda Supermarket building kinda complete. But you may have noticed we have a massive amount of empty space surrounding Asda. That's what we're going to be working on next. Next, come to the right side of Asda and locate this window. Leave a gap of 1 in front of said window and place a yellow carpet. Extend it to the right by 2, 1, 2, and then leave a gap of 1 and place 3 more carpet. 1, 2, 3. Leave a gap of 1, 3 more carpet, 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 and then one last time gap of 1, 3 more carpet. Okay. Next, we will dig in between all of the carpets and place white concrete powder. We will then extend the concrete powder 4 rows forwards, or that way rather. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. You guys get the idea. We will then place white concrete powder in these empty spaces. Then we want... Oh, missing one. Okay, we then want to dig 5 rows that way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And place cyan terracotta in the empty space. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And once again, you guys get the idea. I'm going to face this way just so that I don't have to keep counting in my head. And there we go. So, on the ends of these cyan terracotta rows, we want to dig another 5 rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And once again, I'm just going to face this way, just so that I don't have to keep on counting. And in this empty space, we will place white concrete powder. And on the sides of and in between all of these rows of white concrete powder, we will place yellow carpet. So we have, on both sides, pretty much the exact same thing. So we will then place polished granite in rows of 2, 1, 2, starting on the back right hand corner of the grid, extending all the way. Okay, this is a long way, hang on. I'll finish the sentence in a moment. To the opposite side of the grid, and then we will just extend all the way forwards, and we will stop the granite wall 2 rows in front of these bricks right here. So 1, 2, just like this. And then we'll probably dig some rows in the ground and place some more granite later, but you guys get the idea. So let's double up on this row, just work back on ourselves. Okay, so next we are going to dig and connect the 2 end rows of yellow carpet together by placing a row of cyan terracotta in between them. We want to do this on both sides of the build. We will then dig the 3 middle rows corresponding with this row of cyan terracotta. This sounds tricky, but basically, okay. Find the middle block in this row of 5. It's this one. Dig until we hit this point here, and then we want to continue digging into the car park until we line up with our granite wall. if you like, you can literally dig in the ground from the granite wall, and you can make sure that we are getting the right spot if you are as conscientious as I am. AKA paranoid that we've got the wrong block, and I really don't want to have to go back and revert a bunch of wrong stuff. So we are going to place a row of cyan terracotta that extends from the middle of this little bit of the car park all the way over to here, lining up with the end of this wall. We will then dig either side of this and turn this cyan terracotta into a row of 3 like so. Then we are able to dig all the way to the outer boundary here and connect all the way to our granite wall like this. And I'm just going to place smooth stone in this empty space, so leading all the way from that wall all the way to here. I'm then going to place smooth stone leading all the way to not only the car park entrance, which is the cyan terracotta, but to this wall right here. And then this is where things get really, really simple. We must now replace all of the grass block inside of this little mini bit of car park. We will replace all of it with cyan terracotta. We then, and there's no real fun way to do this, want to remove all of the grass inside of this giant area that we have marked out with smooth stone. And I'm going to give you one guess once we have removed the grass what we are going to replace it with. It's going to be smooth stone. I don't know why, but something's telling me to just start filling it in from here. Completely random thought. Next, we are going to place a red nether brick wall here in this corner. We will then leave a gap of 1 and then place a diorite and then a gap of 1 and then a red nether brick, a gap of 1 a diorite, so on and so forth, leading all the way across the entire front of the build. I'm starting to think maybe we should stop here and then we will continue this by placing another diorite wall here, leave a gap, diorite wall, so on and so forth. So we don't really obstruct our entrance and we keep a nice even set of wall. Perfect. Next, come to the front right hand corner of Asda, leave a gap of 1 in front of this corner and place 2 smooth quartz blocks on top of each other with a smooth quartz stairs on top of that. An upside down stair extending inwards, and then we want to place another upside down stair pairing to it, a sideways stair on the side, and then join down using smooth quartz slabs and ore blocks. We then want to place 4 glass, which I seem to have misplaced. 1, 2, 3, 4, extending backwards. Add another row on top, do the same on the other side, 1, 2, 3, 4, add another row on top. And then on the end of this, we essentially want to just repeat what we did on the front. So we place 2 smooth quartz blocks behind the glass, stairs on top, upside down stairs joining together in the middle, just like this. And then we will connect the glass together at the back, just inside of this area like so. An additional row upwards, extend the glass forwards to connect to these stairs, like this. Then place stairs on the sides. And then inside of this, we want to place cauldrons in kind of like a staggered way with oak fence gate open against the cauldrons to look like trolleys and or shopping carts. I prefer trolley. We've done a lot of good work with the car park, ladies and gentlemen, but you'll see that we've kind of only made half of it. If you feel the need to only have Asda and a small car park off to the side, you can probably stop here. But we're not going to do that, are we? We are going to build the rest of this giant car park, including the petrol station. So, step 1, we are going to dig 7 rows in front of this row of smooth stone. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and we are going to place cyan terracotta in here instead. We are then going to extend this 2 rows forwards, 1, 2, and we will fill all of this in with cyan terracotta. Next to this row of cyan terracotta, the most inward row, we will dig a block and place a smooth stone. Left of this, 3 yellow carpet, 1, 2, 3, leave a gap, 3 yellow carpet, 1, 2, 3, leave a gap, 3 yellow carpet, 1, 2, 3. We will then remove this block left and replace this with a smooth stone. The 2 blocks in between, we will remove the grass and replace that with white concrete. We will then extend the white concrete 5 rows forwards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We also want to remove the same amount in front of the smooth stone, and we want to just simply extend the smooth stone forwards, just like this. We will then remove all of this behind these car parking spaces and replace all of this empty space with smooth stone, just like so. We will also, whilst we're working on this part of the build, dig 1, 2, 3 rows extending left, and we will remove just next to these rows, and we will replace all of this with cyan terracotta. We're then going to remove these 2 rows and replace this with smooth stone, and the end result will look like this. So that's looking pretty good. So what we will now do is dig 3 rows in front of our white concrete powder, 1, 2, 3, and replace those blocks with cyan terracotta, 1, 2, 3, cyan terracotta. We will then dig in front of these 1 row more and place smooth stone on the ends. And then we will dig 5 rows extending that way, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and place white concrete powder in there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, white concrete powder. We will then dig another 5 rows, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and place cyan terracotta in there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, cyan terracotta. Then dig 5 more rows, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, white concrete powder, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, white concrete powder. We then want to dig another row and then place smooth stone in there instead. So what we will then do is, let's come back to these rows first of all. We will place yellow carpet in between this end pair of white concrete powder, and then extend left, 1, 2, 3, yellow carpet, right, 1, 2, 3, yellow carpet. Then place yellow carpet in between this pair of white concrete powder and extend left, 1, 2, 3, and this way, 1, 2, 3 as well. We then want to add an entire row of smooth stone behind the yellow carpet on this side, and we want to dig around the edge of this and place smooth stone in here. So we want to make a solid area. So let's just take a look at it from the sky like this, and we want to do the same thing on this opposite side here. So we want to dig behind the yellow carpet and also simultaneously around and fill all of this in with smooth stone, just like this. So we have a bunch of these spaces. We also want to, on the end of the grid here, like how we did with this, we want to dig an area that is the same length as this area here, and we want to replace these 2 rows with smooth stone. So I don't know if this is confusing or not, but if we take a look at this from this angle, I think that this will make more sense. We then want to remove 3 rows extending this way from the end of these car parking spaces. 1, 2, 3. We're going to remove 3 entire rows and replace these with cyan terracotta. And then we are going to remove 2 more rows and replace these with smooth stone. We are then going to remove 3 more rows, so 1, 2, 3. And replace these with cyan terracotta. We will then remove 3 more rows, 1, 2, 3. And replace these with smooth stone. Then remove 6 rows, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And replace these with cyan terracotta. We are then going to remove 3 more rows, 1, 2, 3. And replace these with smooth stone. We will then remove 3 more rows, 1, 2, 3. And replace these with cyan terracotta. And that will then give us this, which is most of the hard part done. We are also going to remove 2 entire rows from the front of the grid. And we are going to replace all of that with smooth stone, except for the last 3 rows, which are here. So this will look from the sky, because it's just easier to see from the sky, that will look like this. Next, we will begin work on the petrol station. So come all the way over to this area of smooth stone, and on top of this block, place a light grey concrete. Extend it 2 rows to the right, 1, 2, leave a gap, place a light grey concrete, leave a gap, and then place 3 more light grey concrete. 1, 2, 3. Just like so. We then want to extend the rows of 3, 1 row upwards, and the singular row 3 rows upwards. 1, 2, 3. We want to have the exact same thing, by the way, over here. 1, 2, 3, gap, 1, gap, 1, 2, 3. Extend the rows up, and the central block up by 1, 2, 3. Just like this. In addition to this, you can place a smooth quartz slab on the end of the light grey concrete and extend it that way by 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And this way by 7 also. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Just like this. We want to do the same thing over here. Block 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6, 7. And then this way 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then we're just going to extend and connect all of this together. And in addition to that, we will place lime concrete on top of the smooth quartz. And then we will completely fill the top of this in using lime concrete. And underneath this, you can choose to either fill it in, or I think I actually prefer it like this, so I'm just going to leave it. So for the pumps, on the ends of these areas of light grey concrete, we will place a lime concrete, on top of it a smooth quartz stair, in front of the smooth quartz stair a painting, a button in front of the lime concrete, levers to the right of this with end rods on top. It's actually easier to place them from above. And we will place a cauldron here with an oak trapdoor on top. We then want to do the exact same thing here on the right side. Once again, it's just easier to place them from the top if we can get on something. And this is what an entire side of pumps will look like. And these are double-sided, so along the inside of this we will do the exact same thing. It will be inverted, but it's the exact same thing. So eventually we will have done that to all of these sides of the pumps. Now that we have made all of the pumps, we are now going to place lime concrete here in this corner. We're going to place 1, 2 lime concrete and add 1, 2 rows on top. Then we want to add 1 by 1 paintings to the right side of this, item frames left, and black dye inside of this. We then want to add podzol to the road area here, leading all the way up to where we have these 3 blocks. So this is where the road is actually going to lead in. Right, so we can destroy this inside row, replace it with podzol. We could even possibly do this, like, it kind of depends what sort of layout you have. Like, I'm thinking we have a granite wall here, polished granite, along the inside of the podzol, like this, or you could leave enough room for a footpath. It kind of depends how you do want to, like, lay this out. We can have a little bit of a footpath here, and then we can have a road that kind of just goes everywhere else. We may even want to, like, we could have a big yeah, we'll probably have quite a large road, so we could even, like, stop it here. We could even turn this into road, like we could have a big giant through road all the way through here. That would probably make sense. And we'll still keep the path at the front. And anyway, we then want to just place ferns in the podzol. Feel free to add some double tall ferns if you would like, or large ferns as they are called on the streets. We have to add some road markings to our car park. So the way that this works is basically we remove all of the grass in between these rows of smooth stone here and here, and we place alternating rows of cyan terracotta and white concrete, leading to/from the car parking spaces to Asda, or vice versa. So we'll have 1 set of these here, and we will have just 1 set of these here as well. So the next part of this isn't too difficult. We've just got to remove all of the grass block and eventually replace it with cyan terracotta. That's pretty much all there is to it. Oh, and any remaining part of the grid as well that we may still have. And you may be wondering to yourself, why is he destroying the grass like this? I'm hoping that this looks cool in replay mode. It's either going to look cool, or it's going to look really weird. I don't know. I'm definitely taking more time than I should destroying this grass. But hopefully it's worth it for the cool bird's eye view shot. It's definitely not going to be worth it. You probably won't even be able to see anything from the angle that I will have to record it at. I'm kind of like disappearing underneath the canopy. But once we have, of course, removed all of the grass, we are now going to place all of the cyan terracotta. So this is literally everywhere else. We don't have to do anything fancy. Once again, filling things in weird for the hope that it looks good in the tutorial. Certainly couldn't be worth it in the end. You guys would probably just prefer a first-person view as well. Like if you told a robot to fill something in. My videos are now made with ChatGPT. ChatGPT, please fill in this car park. And there we go, ladies and gentlemen. Rather excitingly, we have completed the entire outside of the build. With the entire outside of Asda now made, we are now able to head inside and work on the interior. Step 1, come all the way to the front left hand corner of Asda and place 3, 1, 2, 3 red terracotta extending towards the back. Extend the left and right blocks forwards and then place a loom in this position. We then want to extend the red terracottas up by 2 rows each, like this. Place smooth quartz slabs across the top of this. A lever here. A mug here, aka a flower pot. We want to have a couple of paintings here. We then want to place an item frame here, here, and here, with a button here. Cocoa beans in this item frame. Lever here, and a flower pot here. That's absolutely perfect. Next to this, we are going to add a cauldron with an oak trapdoor on top. Then leave a gap of 1 and place 1, 2, 3 white concrete on top of each other. Leave a gap of 2, 1, 2, and then place a row of white concrete. Leave a gap of 2, 1, 2, and place a row of white concrete. Extend the white concrete forwards and place sea lanterns in between the 2 outward rows. I'm also going to have to replace that quartz brick. Next, we are going to place item frames along the inside here, and it might even be a good idea to add some tripwire hooks as well in certain positions, just to kind of change things up a little bit. So what this is essentially is just like a drinks fridge. So we are just going to place all sorts of different potions of varying kinds in the fridge. It doesn't really matter which ones you use or where you place them. All that matters is that we just have something that should look like this. Then we are going to place light blue stained glass block in between the outward rows of white concrete, an iron bar here and here, and then smooth quartz slabs across the top of this. Then, moving to the right, we now want to place 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 sea lanterns extending right of these fridges with a white concrete on the end. Extend up to 1, 2, extend the white concrete forwards, upside down smooth quartz stairs in front of this. We then place smooth quartz slabs here and also just across the top here as well. Then we are going to place item frames here with bread inside of these item frames, and if there is room here, we want to occupy these with bread and other things as well. So what we essentially have here is just some drinks and some pre-made sandwiches. So that's what this entire area is about. We now want to make our way all the way over to the back right hand corner of our Asda, and we want to leave a gap of 2 from the corner extending left, and then place a white concrete, gap of 2, white concrete, gap of 2, white concrete, gap of 2, white concrete, and then a gap of 2, and then we will place a brick. So the brick is a little bit unique as we want to extend it forwards, and we want to leave a gap of 2 from in front of the end of this ridge, so 1, 2, and we want to create a right angle using the bricks, just like so. The bricks want to be 3 rows high in total. They want to match the outside of the build, just like this. And then we want to place white concrete on top of the bricks also, so this will go all the way to the ceiling. And that will give us this. We will also want to be able to break into this room as well, so we'll just remove this 2x2 square here. We could even do this, just kind of off to the side. I'm not sure if we actually end up occupying this space. I think that this is the actual entrance, and this will ultimately be a cafe, although we are going to leave it as is for now, and we are going to return all the way back over to here. So we are going to add an additional 2 white concrete on top of each one of our white concretes, sea lanterns in between. We then want to place upside down smooth quartz stairs in front of the sea lanterns and extend the white concretes 1 row forwards. We want to dig in between the ends of the white concrete and place sea lanterns just like so, and then smooth quartz slabs in front of the upper half of the bricks, and all of these will have item frames on them. And I'm not going to add this now because it'd take up way too much inventory space. These are freezers, so we would add frozen stuff to these, so chicken, beef, vegetables, all that sort of stuff. Anything you would find in a freezer we will ultimately add to these, but we also want to add glass to these doors, so on top of these sea lanterns. Feel free to leave like one of the blocks open so that we can actually access said item frames, and we are going to add doors to these as well. But what we will also do, as we are here, is add bookshelves. So bookshelves are going to make up the majority of our aisles. They're nice and nondescript, and I think that they just make good filler for supermarkets. So what we will be doing is leaving a gap of 2 in between these white concrete rows and placing rows of 13, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, rows of 13 bookshelves extending towards the front of the build. So wherever we have the white concrete on the back of the build, we will do the exact same thing as we did that first row. So the bookshelves, I'm thinking 3 rows high. I was initially just going to make them 2 rows high, but I'm thinking 3. You can create a split in between them if you like as well. So what I mean by that is, because they are rows of 13, you could take the 7th block, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and you could split them up in the middle so you can walk through them if you did so choose. And yeah, that looks pretty good. You could even create a further split, but you'd be, so further split meaning this, but then obviously you would be reducing the amount of bookshelves in the store overall, but that's okay. And I kind of like them only being 2 rows high, but the fridges and freezers are 3 rows high, so I think it's a bit weird to have shelves that, especially in a supermarket, maybe if it was a smaller store, maybe not, but in a supermarket especially, you probably have nice tall shelves that you can barely even reach the top of. Next, we are going to make some mushroom stands. To do this, we will place a spruce plank here, extending in front of this brick, and left of it 4 mushroom stem. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 spruce planks, 1, 2, and then 4 brown mushroom block, 1, 2, 3, 4, then a spruce plank. In front of the mushroom blocks, place sea lanterns. Then place mycelium in front of the sea lanterns. Extend the spruce planks forwards to equal the mycelium. We then want to place spruce trapdoor in front of the mycelium, so flipped up. We then want to extend each one of the spruce planks up by 2 rows. We then want to place spruce slabs. Do we? Okay, now first of all, we'll do this. We'll extend the brown mushroom block and the mushroom stem each up by 1, with red mushroom block on top of each of them, just like this. Then we will place spruce slabs all the way across the top of this, just filling in all of the empty space, just like this. And there we go, perfect. We are ready for the mushrooms. Next, we are simply just going to add the mushrooms to each one of these areas. So brown mushrooms here on the left side where we have the brown, and the white and red mushrooms here on the right side where we have, well, the white and the red. Next, we want to come to our drinks fridge. We then want to leave a gap of 4 in front of the center of the fridge, so this white concrete row. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then in this 5th block we want to place a spruce plank and extend it forwards. We then want to leave a gap of 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then place 2 spruce planks, like this. So, we will place rows of 3, 1, 2, 3 grass block on both sides, 1, 2, 3 of the spruce planks. Then, we want to add spruce trapdoors all the way around the grass block and spruce planks. So we are doing this for both of these. And we're going to flip them up. We then want to add spruce fence on top of the 2 spruce planks. Then we are going to mark out each one of these areas with whatever we are going to grow here. So for me, this is going to be wheat, beetroot, this one will be carrots, and then this one is going to be potatoes. And then I'm going to grab the hoe and all of those seeds, and I am going to grow wheat here, where, well, I've marked out with wheat. Okay, we are lacking a little bit of light, aren't we? So, you've got 2 options for the light. You can add sea lanterns into the ceiling in appropriate places. So, like, you'd probably add them, like, in between these areas. So, in between the produce that we're trying to grow, like, you'd build them into the ceiling like this, kind of make it this long. The rest of the supermarket, I would probably line them up with... I mean, it wouldn't be a bad idea to line them up with kind of like the centers of the aisles. So here. Can you see where we've placed the bookshelves is what I'm trying to say. Like, we can add light to the ceilings here, and you could like extend them out a little bit. Or maybe you could add like staggered lighting kind of like this. And it's kind of cool because then the ceiling kind of like points you in the direction of where you are supposed to go. There we go, that's perfect. I mean, it's a lot of light, but it's not absolutely everywhere. And we can use all sorts of different methods as well to keep things light and bright a little bit later on, but that will do for now. And now we should be able to grow our wheat. So I guess not here. Okay, let's see if beacons emit light. So we are going to place diorite wall behind the black glass block that we have for the entrance. We want to place 2 diorite wall in front of the bottom 2 black stained glass. We then want to add iron bars to the diorite wall and then beacons on top of the diorite. We will now see, running a little experiment, if this is enough light to be able to plant wheat seeds. Yes, it is. That is absolutely wonderful. So let's see if we are able to place the beetroot now. Yes, we are, which means we should be able to place absolutely everything else. So this one is carrots. I guess we need additional light there, and then we will have the same problem here as well. And then this one is potatoes. So we could actually leave these blocks alone, and then that way it seems as though that somebody's already like taken these, or we will be adding additional light as we progress through the rest of the build anyway. But I think that looks pretty good for now. There might even be too much light here, so like we could destroy every other block, and I think that looks a little bit better. Originally, in the original version of Asda, I just used a light command. But obviously, we're building this together, so I'm not using any commands to build this. And we have to make sure that we have enough light in Asda, so we will definitely achieve this by the end of the build. But for now, I think that that's pretty good what we've got now. Next, we are going to add some seating to the front of Asda. We will place 2 spruce stairs in front of each one of these 2 center glass blocks that we have for each one of these 3 windows. We will then place spruce signs either side of these stairs like this, and then we will place a brown glazed terracotta here with an oak leaf on top, and a brown glazed terracotta here with an oak leaf on top, just like this. We will then come over to the produce area here, and we want to extend, funnily enough, this block that will not grow. We want to leave a gap of 2 in the ground from this, so 1, 2, and then we want to place a light grey concrete. Next to this, 2 smooth stone slabs built up next to each other. Leave a gap of 1 light grey concrete, 2 smooth stone slabs, and then we are going to add an additional light grey concrete on top of our concrete. We then want to destroy in the ground in front of these and place green wool. Leave a gap of 1, and then we want to dig in the ground and place green wool. And then behind the green walls, we want to do exactly what we have here. So we have 2 light grey concretes on the left side building from the ground with stone slabs next to them. We want to place stone buttons in front of the lower light grey concretes and paintings in front of the upper ones. And here we have a bunch of like self-scanning machines for our shopping. Next, we are going to leave a gap of 1 from this self-scanning machine and place a chest. We will then leave a gap of 3, 1, 2, 3, and place another chest. So behind the chests, we are going to place 2 light grey concrete extending forwards. We will then extend the first light grey concrete up by 1, and we will also extend them to the left as well. We will then extend the light grey concretes forwards by 1, 2, 3 like this, 1, 2, 3 like this, and place black carpet on the rows of light grey concrete. We will then place a smooth quartz stair here and here with detect rails here and here with paintings here and here and tripwire hooks here and here. We are then going to remove the quartz bricks off to the side of the light grey concretes and place green wool next to them. And there we have tills. You can even maybe just like place a tripwire hook here and here as well. I think that might be a good idea. And if you wanted to, maybe we could place like item frames with like paper inside of them to kind of like look like plastic bags or something maybe. Next, I'm going to add some torches to the ends of these bookshelves here just to provide a little bit more light. And I'm also going to do the rather painstaking task of adding some polished blackstone slabs underneath the roof area to kind of gradiate the roof, so to speak. So if we place a series of polished blackstone slabs at the front and the back of the build, we're going to have to head into the cafe as well, then we kind of get this like cool sloped effect. And to make the contrast of the sea lanterns a little bit less stark, we're also just going to add some slabs around the sea lanterns as well. So like this. And does that look good like that, or do we? Ultimately, I think that this just looks better, only because it's not weird. Like, the other lighting just, it stuck out too much. I think it's better this way. So this now actually leads us into the cafe area, which I think can be a little bit more independent because it's quite nice and bright in here already. I am just going to add the polished black stone slabs to this part of the roof, just so that it kind of slopes a little bit. But other than that, I think that we're okay. First of all, along this back wall, we are going to place a light blue concrete, followed by a polished black stone stairs, 2 more bricks, and then a yellow concrete, polished black stone stairs, 2 bricks like this. We are going to make the bricks as high as all of the other bricks, and then we are going to fill the light blue and yellow concrete areas in with their respective colours. We will add oak sides in front of these stairs, stone buttons along the right sides of the machines, and item frames on the left sides of the machines. We will place fun stuff in the item frames. Do feel free to choose whatever you want to put in there. That's what I'm going with. Next, we are going to place spruce stairs in front of the bricks, with spruce fence in front of the stairs, green carpet on top of the fence, with spruce stairs on the opposite side of the fence, bricks against the stairs, flower pots on top of the bricks with ferns inside. We will then place spruce stairs against the bricks and fence against the stairs, stairs on the opposite side of the fence with green carpet on top of the fence, then bricks on top, or rather behind the spruce planks. It'd be a bit hard to sit on these seats if we place bricks on top of the stairs. We then want to place flower pots with ferns inside of the flower pots, just like this, which then leads us over to here. Next, we will place 2 light grey concrete across this back wall, 1, 2, with 2 furnaces left of the concrete, 1, 2, then 2 light grey concrete, 1, 2, and then 2 light blue glass. Extend up 1 row. We then want to place a row of bricks, leaving a gap of 1 in front of this, all the way across the front of what we've just made, just leaving a small gap on the side here. A smooth quarter stair here with a lantern next to it, a couple of item frames, birch trapdoor here, maybe even a couple of flower pots as well, and some green carpet just in front of this area. Next, we are going to place a brewing stand here with a flower pot next to it, a lever above one, tripwire hook above the other, polished black stone stairs above the furnaces with an item frame on one of the furnaces and a rail on top of the other, a couple of cakes here, and then a couple of end rods just here, maybe even just on this side here. And then we are going to add a couple of item frames and some potions to the item frames, and also some smooth quartz slab across the top. I'm also just going to add some torches just to this wall, just to make it a little bit brighter, and I think that will do it. And with those final details added, we have officially completed this tutorial. However, this video is not over. We must now add our Asda into our city. I think that the best place to store this is going to be opposite the new street that we've been working on, which is just outside the new suburbs and kind of close to the Despicable Me suburbs as well. I think by adding this, we are slowly joining these 2 suburbs together, and I just think that this is a great spot for it. And that is that, ladies and gentlemen. I do hope that you have enjoyed this video. Please do remember to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Click that little bell next to the subscription button to ensure that you get all my videos sent directly to your sub box. If you would like to make anything else by me, please check the description below for the Mini City Builds playlist. We have over 100 builds in there for you to enjoy. Alternatively, the sidebar, hopefully the next upcoming video, YouTube, or just check the channel. Consider becoming a channel member today and you will gain access to a cool avatar next to your name, some unique emojis, and access to my mini city design world containing every single build that has been added to Mini City to date. This is well over 100 builds, all chronologically ordered, Java edition only. Thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.